I wrote a book with Art Laffer that just came out a few months ago called The Wealth of States, and we find very substantial evidence, almost irrefutable, that when states raise their taxes, especially when they raise their tax rates, that it actually leads to jobs leaving the state, it leads to higher unemployment, it leads to income declines in the state. So if you want, look, the problem with the Alabama budget right now is the state is not growing fast enough. Not enough jobs are being created. If you raise taxes on the business creators and on the workers and on the investors, you're going to get less businesses and you're going to get less workers and you get less investors. And under that kind of circumstance, you're actually going to have higher unemployment. So I don't really get the logic behind raising taxes to try to balance the budget. In fact, what I think is needed is a more structurally low tax system, but also coupled with government efficiencies and pro-growth reforms that will bring businesses and jobs back to Alabama. The people around the country, whether they live in Alabama or they live in Texas or New York or California, they understand that when you raise taxes, you're hurting the state economy and you're sending jobs out of the state. You know, the goal of Alabama should be to be more like Texas, not to be more like New York, where taxes keep going up year after year and jobs and businesses keep leaving. So I just had a piece in the Wall Street Journal pointing this out. The Republican governors are cutting their taxes. Mississippi just recently passed a big tax cut. They're talking about doing a big tax cut in Nebraska, in states like Ohio, in states like Indiana, in states like North Dakota. How is Alabama going to compete if you're raising taxes in Alabama and these other states are cutting taxes? I mean, that puts Alabama businesses and workers at a big, significant competitive disadvantage, and it's going to lead to an outmigration of the very kinds of jobs that are necessary to make Alabama a prosperous place. Rather than raising taxes, I'd love to see Alabama cutting taxes. In fact, I've made the case for many years in my trips to Alabama and talking to the state legislators and working with the Alabama Policy Institute. Wouldn't it be unbelievably cool and good for the economy if Alabama became the 10th state in the country with no income tax? I guarantee you, if Alabama abolished its income tax system, you would see jobs coming into Alabama. You wouldn't have a revenue problem. You would have a problem finding enough workers to fill all the jobs. So that should be the approach to take, is fix the tax system, create a pro-growth atmosphere so people want to come to Alabama, and you're not going to have any budget problems at all.